Hi everyone, in this video we are going to install Windows 10 Enterprise version in this VMware Workstation Pro. And to install Windows 10 on this VMware, we need an ISO file of Windows 10. So ISO file is actually a copy, exactly a copy of a file which we can have on some CD-ROM, which we install physically in our computer, which we use. So for this, first we need to download ISO file from Microsoft website. So this is the website which we'll be using here. So microsoft.com, and this is the link. I'll be putting the link of this website or this URL in the description section. And you can see if we scroll down here, we have Windows product and resources. And then we also have in Windows 11 Enterprise, and this is Windows 10. So we are going to install today the Windows 10. And this is here we need to fill in our details, maybe first name, last name. So you can see there, these are the things you need to fill in. And then if you press continue, this will allow you to download this trial version or evaluation version of Windows 10 for you. Okay, so I'm going to download it. So I have filled in this one, and I have already downloaded this ISO file on my hard disk. So you need to download it, and I'll show you the rest of the steps in VMware. So this is in VMware. We have this VMware, and you can see here there is an option to create a new virtual machine. So you are creating new virtual machine. We'll go with this option. Click there. And then here we have the option to create a workstation 6.2.x virtual machine, and a few easy steps, and there is bit advanced that create a virtual machine with advanced options such as SCSI controller type, virtual disk type, and compatibility with older VMware products. So let's say at this moment we are taking this advanced one, and then we click next. And here you can see hardware compatibility. This is Windows 16.2x which we are using, and then these are the information about compatible product and some limitations. So there's some information there. And here we have information that whether we want to install from disk, or so that's in disable in virtual environment. And you can see then we have the installer disk, that is ISO file. And then here it says I will install the operating system later, and this virtual machine will be created with a blank hard drive. So blank hard disk will be created, and then we'll be setting it up. So let's go with this one. This is by default option as well, you can see here. So click next, and then we are installing Windows. So at the moment it's showing at Linux, but we say we want to install Windows. So now I click Windows, and then we have this option Windows 10, and later x64, but we have Windows 10. We have selected this one, Windows 10, and here, and then we go to next. You can see we have this Windows 10, and then we click on yes. So we can have select this location, like where we want to install it. So default location can be changed later on as well, but we have this D drive, and in the users folder we will have Windows 10. So keep it like that. And here this is the firmware which you want to select, like firmware type BIOS or UEFI. So this is the recent, this is the modern one. We can say we have graphical user interface here, but in BIOS we have the command line interface. So these are different firmwares. You can select any of them. I'm selecting BIOS. And then this is that how many number of processors you want to use. So I'm just using 2, but we can also say 1. So this depends on the available processors on your hardware, and the number of cores per processes, and total processes cores. So this you can change it, like you can make it 1 and this 2, or you can 2 or 1. So let's say we are making both of them 2, and then next. And then memory, this memory RAM, you can increase or decrease, like from here, or you can change the numbers, but this should be the multiple of 4 MB, not in between them. And then then what you want to use. So this is a concept from virtualization. I have discussed this net, bridge and host only concepts in some other video. I'll put the link in description section as well. So at the moment I want my this virtual machine to get connected with the internet as well. So I'm selecting this one, next, and this is the IO controller types. This is by default, that's recommended one. I'm using this one, and select a disk type. What kind of disk do you want to create? So whatever by default that is recommended, I'm selecting this one. This may be not slower one, so I'm selecting that recommended. And then do we want to create a new virtual disk, or you want to use an existing virtual disk? So we want to create a new virtual disk for this. The rest of the details you can read here. And then this is the maximum disk space in GB, so that's kind of hard disk we need for our virtual machine. And then split virtual disk into multiple files. Here there is some advantage here. So this says splitting the disk makes it easier to move the virtual machine to another computer, but disadvantage is that this may reduce performance with very large disks. But with this in mind, we are selecting last one. Say click next, and then 60 GB virtual disk will be created using multiple disk file, and this file will be automatically named based on this file name. So this will the disk file name, and then we click next, and now we have all this information. The virtual machine will be created with whatever setting we selected before these steps. So now say finish, and now this you can see a virtual machine like here, the name which we use for that. And after this step, you can see these are the devices which are connected with this virtual machine, and they are at this point, and from this point on we have to give location of that ISO file. So for that we are going to this VM and then click on settings, and here we have the CD. You can see the CD DVD. I click there, and then we have to give the location of ISO file. Let's say use this ISO file, and then we have to give path to the ISO file which we have downloaded. So that is in my downloads folder. I'm going to click on downloads folder, and I downloaded it yesterday, so this link is there, and I'm giving path to this ISO file which will be used for installation, and say okay. And after this we are going to power on this virtual machine. Now we powered on this virtual machine, and it's taking some time for starting the process. And now this depends on the speed of your computer. So now I can see here, we can see the Windows 10 logo, but this has not been installed. We need to go through further steps to finalize this. And this the first window here says that which language you want to install. So we have different options. Maybe you can select US. So at the moment shows this one. And then this is time and frequency, time and currency format. This also you can change, like here. I'm keeping it as it is, but you can change it. Keyboard layout, I'm using the same which we have here, and then we click install now. So it is preparing to install Windows 10 on our virtual machine. So I'm using VMWare Workstation. So on my computer, I'm using Windows. Okay, after this one window, you can see I have to accept the license term. Next, and then I'm not upgrading, but I'm going to install Windows. So this I have to click there, and this is the hard disk we selected. That's there. Keep it as it is, and then next. And now you can see it is installing, and it's copying files, getting files ready for installation. So this may take some time. This shows only 0%. So when this will reach 100%, we'll be in good position to proceed, but it may take some time. So maybe I'll either fast forward this video, or maybe I can stop recording this, and then I'll start it again recording when we will have this 100%. Okay. Okay, now we are back and you can see we have this 96%, 97%. So it took some time and we had to maybe cut off some video to make this video shorter, but now we can see 97%. So again, this depends on the uh, on my processor speed. So now 97%, and yeah, we are waiting this to be 100%, and then this will go to the next step, that is for installing features, but that will not take that much time. So this is the step which takes longer. That's still 98%, and now this is 100%, and you can see this installation features is ready, installing updates. You can see here now installing updates, and yeah, after this will be finishing up. Here, and the last step, this will be the last step for installing Windows 10 on VMware Workstation. So Windows needs to restart to continue, so this will restart, as we can see in our real environment as well. When we have physical computer, we try to install, so we will see exactly the same steps which we see now in this virtualization environment. So VMware is a virtualization software. It's known as hypervisor, which I'm using, and on that VMware we are installing Windows 10, and now it's starting for the first time in this virtual environment. And maybe if I want to increase this screen size, maybe I can click on full screen here. So now we can see the full screen on my um, Windows. You can see this full screen now. And when you want to maybe come back at this one, just you have to hover there, and this will show you these options. Okay, and then if you want to, like, it's again here, minimize it, so you have these options. Exit full screen mode, so that is here. So Windows is still getting ready, and we need to wait for a while, and maybe we can go back to, we can exit this full screen mode, click there, and again we are back here, so that we can see all these options there. So it's still loading. So here you can see this is getting ready. We need to wait, or maybe I'll forward it, this video. Okay, so now we have that step has been done. Let's see what comes on our screen, and we will be deciding on the basis of the window which will be displayed in front of us. uh, just a moment, we have this window. It will ask us some other options there. Okay, now we have to select a region, and with respect to this region it will be selecting time. So you can change country, but I'm going to keep as it is whatever we have to save time. So yes, and then is this right keyboard? Say yes. We have the same, yeah, US one. Say yes, and skip this step. Like, and now we have some important steps to do, so it will show us the remaining steps for finalizing installation of Windows 10 on this VMware. And still we have to wait. And then here, if we can have some Microsoft account which we might have created, we can use that Microsoft account with. Um, so in that case we will be part there. But let's say to avoid this, maybe we can use, we are not using this Microsoft account. We just said just join domain. So in this way we don't need to give this email addresses. But now we have to set up a user accounts here. So it's asking that what name do you want to use. So maybe any name like newbie. So I'm using this name. Next, and password, let's say I'm also using newbie and confirm password. So let's say and eat newbie. Then secret question. So secret question we can select any for maybe password recovery. So it's asking different questions. Let's say I'm selecting what's pet names. Let's say nice. And the second question of actually you can have different, I mean, names, and you should have, just to save time I'm going to put nice for all these three questions. And these questions you should write it down somewhere and in a secret place that will be used in case you forget these passwords and things. But for me I have put all these same. And at the moment, let's say, do you want to enable this location service? Say no. Find my devices service. Say no. I'm going to put these or no. Otherwise, you can read it. So you can, after reading, you can enable these options uh, on your Windows 10 machine, and then accept. And so, and not now we are not getting this now. So let's say forget about that. And we want our Windows 10 machine ready, and this is the first time hi from Windows 10. So we are getting everything ready for you. This is a message from Windows 10, so it means it's getting everything. This may take several minutes. We have to be patient with the installation because we are actually we are installing it as we do in our real environment, in our with our physical machine, physical computers which we purchased. But for learning purpose we are doing this, we are creating this virtual machine using installation ISO file which we downloaded from a site which I showed you at the start, and I'll put that same link in the description section as well for for you to download it. And we saw that there was also Windows 11, so we'll do a video on Windows 11 as well, but today I'm making this for Windows 10. So the same steps, that means we have to register there on a Microsoft website, names and numbers, and then this will be we will have an option to download it, and we will download ISO file on our hard disk. And then the steps, you can see we are following those steps for the installation of Windows 10 on our virtual machine. So now you can see Windows 10 Enterprise Evaluation version. So let's say if I see here, if I go in settings, for example, and so this is the, for example, RAM which I can increase or decrease. And let's say in this VM, if I say, sorry, in view, let's say full screen, you can see this, the full screen there. And yeah, so you can see a Windows 10 enterprise evaluation version that is for 90 days. And there is one last step, that is that you can see our screen is not fitting our, I mean, this virtual window screen is not fitting, covering my whole window, which appears like you can see here's there's a blank here. And then there is also for better integration and for driver installation, we can go here, like we can also click on VM and we can install tools, and here install VMware tools. We can say yes, and keystrokes, or we already have like this one here, and open the folder to view it, like setup 64, and then this will install it, VMware tools. And after this installation, we should have better integration here. We can see higher resolution, our this windows will cover whole screen, and rest of the things will be working fine after installation. So it's installing it, and we have, sorry, that we have to wait. So I'm just selecting by default options, and this will take it more time to complete it. And then we will have all the things integrated, and we will have a better view of this Windows 10 on a virtual environment. So this is installing VMware tools which we need to finalize this installation. And yeah, it may take some time. So for finalization of installation, we did this, and after this we will have a better look. So you can see here, we at this time, after this, you can see the screen size. So you must restart the system. So yes, we are going to restart it, but you can see now Windows looks much better. So maybe we can also, to change view, we can click view, and maybe we can say full screen, but we can also have the fit guest now. But let's start it. So let it start. It's starting. So Windows 10, now you can see this is going to cover the whole screen there. And if we click there, if you remember the password, so that was UP, and click, hopefully I gave right password there. And now your mouse will be captured. So if you want to get rid, I mean to release it, you need to press Ctrl Alt. And now in view, you can see that the fit guest, so that's an option which will cover the full screen. Like here, this is one option here, and then this will give a feeling that we are really working on the real machine. So the whole screen, the virtual machine will cover the whole screen. So now we have this file explorer, and you can see all these things. So here we have this option of start menu, and you can also see like here the desktop, as well as the C drive. You can see the D drive from where we installed this one. So now this is the end of today's video. We installed Windows 10 in VMware Workstation, and I hope this video will be helpful for some of you who are trying to install Windows 10 in VMware. Okay, so thank you. Hope to see you in some other video.